Hey there, YouTube. Crypto Force here again, bringing you another daily dose of crypto. All right, it's been about 4 days since I made a video. The reason being, my internet has been down. I finally got, it's been the fourth call, the fourth person to come in from the internet service provider. They finally gave me a new modem. They had ran new cables, went up to Poland, worked on it. Everybody said it was the other person's job, etc. They finally give me a new modem. I'm back in business, so let's discuss what's going on. The last couple days, we had some nice green in the markets, a lot of double digits. We saw Bitcoin go from around $9,200 all the way up to 13,000, and then today we're consistently around 15% down overall in the market. And why is that? Well, as you know, we had a massive run up. I don't think this was a bubble busting, anything of that means, but the massive run up we had are driving these prices down. Now, there is some negative news in the market right now that I'd like to go into. And one of the first in the big topics here, it says Visa CEO rejects notion of Bitcoin as currency and payment mechanism. Now, if any of you all have 10x or WireX or Bitwala or CryptoPay, you know about 2 or 3 weeks ago, Visa stopped Wavecrest, which Wavecrest was an intermediary that Visa did business with, and they offered all those cards up to those four cryptos I talked about. And then all of a sudden, Visa says, no more, you're not using our Visa cards. So they automatically stopped payments on those Visa cards. They canceled them. So people that actually were using those Visa cards and cryptos to pay for hotels overseas, food, different venues they're at, they were kind of stuck unless they used their regular fiat cards. So, it was kind of a bad move by Visa, in my opinion, but, just to abruptly cancel stuff like that. And the only explanation that they gave to Wavecrest was that Wavecrest was not following their rules. So, I don't know what rules they're talking about. Now, just to confirm, Monaco Card uses a company, I believe it's called WireX or WiredX or something to that effect. And they do have Visa issued cards. Monaco does. So I guess whatever company they're using was conforming to the rules as to where Wavecrest was totally abolished by Visa. So anyways, that's just a little segue into this topic here. So now one of the reasons, Visa obviously is against cryptocurrency. It's kind of going against the fundamentals of what Visa is. Visa is a plastic card. It pretty much is just a holder for fiat currency for people to use a plastic piece of card and transact money out of their bank accounts, their fiat currency. And, I think they kind of see the writing on the wall. Eventually, these cards may become obsolete once cryptocurrency, if it ever makes it full force, which, I believe it will eventually take over the market. So the CEO goes on to talk about how it's too volatile. They don't want to get into it because it's so unpredictable. It's so volatile. You got to know your customer. And they go on and on and on. But there is some positive to this Visa CEO talking. It says Visa is refusing any association with digital currencies of any kind, but it was quick to adopt the underlying technology that powers most cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. So the company's business-to-business Connect platform relies heavily on blockchain architecture. So there's hopes to use the technology to ease the process of cross-border transactions in the near future. So, Visa does understand that there is a place for cryptocurrency. I think everybody's just trying to figure out the way to leverage it best for their business model. So, I'm sure Visa pays a lot of money for cross-border transactions, and it's going to be slow. It's going to be time-consuming. As to where blockchain can solve all those problems, but everybody has to come to a common consensus on how it can be done. And so until these individual companies actually can figure out how they're going to mainstream that themselves to benefit from it, I think they're kind of shying away from just allowing it in, because it's kind of like the Trojan horse. I think they kind of feel like, well, if we let this cryptocurrency stuff slip in, it may render us obsolete or take over our section of the market. And in my opinion, if these companies were smart, they would be like Overstock.com is and say, hey, we welcome it. It's going to be the future, and let's go ahead and figure out now how to utilize this and be the innovators in the front so we're not left behind. So that's the news from Visa. Now, one thing, another article for this Visa CEO talking about, absolutely not working with cryptocurrency. If you come down here, it's interesting because it's very reminiscent of what JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon said. And it says, in a related announcement, the CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan, issued an advisory to employees of the company to not buy cryptocurrencies on the behalf of clients. Bank of America is, and I can't really blame a CEO for saying, hey, don't buy cryptocurrencies for clients, because the volatility of the market is so much that, I'm sure there could be lawsuits. The SEC right now is not on board with cryptocurrencies at the current time. So, I just think there's a whole lot of gray area to where a lot of these bigger corporations, they just don't want to fool with it right now. And I think that's a safe approach, but at the same time, I think it's the wrong approach. Now, if we move on to talk about what the SEC is talking about, it's talking about, could the SEC kill cryptocurrency funds? So another big announcement that's going on, the SEC has told investment firms that there's not going to be any cryptocurrency funds in the near future. Now, they're blaming, the high volatility once again. They're saying there needs to be a fair price. There needs to be protection for the customer. And, one thing people need to understand, they're not stocks. Cryptocurrency is a currency, just like the Forex market. And there's always massive price swings, even in the Forex market. So, we're not looking at stocks here. We're actually looking at a new form of currency. And I think that's where a lot of misconceptions are being made. Now, is there, coins out there that claim to be more than currency? Yeah, there's some different coins out there that have some kind of bizarre ideology of what they are, but at the same time, it is called cryptocurrency because it is a currency. Even if you buy an Ethereum, the Ethereum is the coin, the driver to allow you on the Ethereum platform, to make projects and to be on their platform. So even the platforms, it's still a function of currency. So I think that's where a lot of this is kind of being lost in translation, because these are currencies, they're not stocks. Now, the SEC goes on and on talking about how, they'll discuss later how to prevent money laundering and illicit finance and, all this stuff. And they're actually going to do that with a Group of 20 economic coalition in April. So who knows what will come out of that. Because at the end of the day, the World Banks and the Federal Reserve, all these people, they don't want cryptocurrency around in a decentralized state, because if it's decentralized, they have no control over it. So that's really going to be the big obstacle. And I know that decentralization, nobody can really see what you're doing, who's transacting what. But it'll be interesting to see how the world powers handle this, the governments handle this. As of right now, it's a fledgling thing. So they're able to come in and say, you're going to pay taxes on this, or these exchanges will not be open. Send us all the records of who holds what. And, I can understand some regulation, even though we may not like it. That's just the world we live in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think all these different bits of news popping up are one of the big reasons that we're seeing this dip in crypto price, and as well as it's doing its own kind of correction. But as we've seen time and time again, these markets, they absolutely tank. We think, holy cow, this is the end, and it's not the end. This stuff's going to bounce right back to new highs. I think Bitcoin right now is definitely the coin to be in. I think it's the safest, and I think it will bounce back quicker than the other coins. But that's my own personal opinion. Obviously, research it for yourself, figure out what you want to do. I'm not telling anybody what to do. But so anyways, guys, hope you guys are having a good weekend, and as always, good luck trading, and Crypto Force signing out.